morning motivation. You see that shine right there, dog? That's how we shine. Wait, let me get my blunt this morning. Let's see if the sun will light it. No? You fun? There we go. I could screenshot that for you. That'll be dope. Power of the sun is lighting me up. We're about to get it in. This is morning motivation time, baby. That's your boy Marky Saint. Head over eight, baby. Head over eight. Weird. That's all right. Last night people were coming in and they were like, yo, what's up with that shirt? And I was like, I got you, bro. I got you. Saints Addiction. Right on the back, baby. Gotta show off the logo. And what a night it was. I went out late. I didn't go till like 9 or 10, but man, it's awesome spending time with friends in the end. You know, I'm sitting there at the bar with the homegirl, and I go, "This is that moment. This is that moment when a person dies. You remember you hang out with them. This is that moment when you do something in your life where you feel like something's gone right." And it was one of those nights where everything went right. I walk around downtown, and Vegas is lit. Vegas got all sorts of shit going on, man. Right now we got a football game. It's Sunday. We had a boxing game on Saturday. Had a UFC game. I guess I caught my friend's birthday, but like big events, life is beautiful. What's going on? Something else was happening. It's a busy weekend. Oh, and it's Latin awards. It's a Latin national. I think it's national for Latin stuff. But the energy of Vegas was popping, and my energy was popping. And my energy was popping because now I'm fixated on something different. You know, I put in here learning equals growth. That's exactly what happened. I've learned myself. I've learned to identify the people at the table. I've learned to identify my anxiety before I go into public. I've learned to identify my courage inside of me, literally my self confidence, and saying, "Yeah, man, I'm used to walking in front of people. I'm used to seeing people and being myself, you know. And now I'm being my true self, and I guess I'm being my let's get some energy, my new self. Okay, Mr. Helicopter, somebody less up to my new self where I'm like, oh, this person here is an artist. He's an extrovert. He was speaking wildly. He was being the center of attention, and I'm not used to not being the center of attention. So I've added a few words into the conversation. But the truth is that I'm, you know, I was letting him speak, and I was just adding things to it, and just eating my food and being rational with people instead of pushing upon people. I guess I always thought I had to be a part of the show, and part of the conversation started to lull, you know, and I added a little bit of quips in there and asked a lot of questions, which kind of made me more popular, right? Like just asking questions and talking people directly and not letting the things come out sideways. It's like, you know, if you could lead the conversation anywhere, why not lead it to back to that person? You know what I'm saying? Like I used to think, okay, let's talk about political subjects. Let's talk about stuff, anything that comes to a part of my mind because I'm going through and I'm shooting. What's this? Oh shit! It's a bunch of when the plants die, is all their branches. I think that's what it is. But that's what we're doing with our lives. You know, we're kind of not aware of the anxiety that's happening when we're in public situations. I don't think we're identifying ourselves and talking to ourselves truthfully and going, okay, this is the moments when I usually talk too long, or this is the moments where I'm not listening. You know, I don't know if you watching yourself or your cognition or watching the other people. I think we're just in it. You know what I mean? I think we're just in it. I'm used to having people around. This is my normal reaction. This learned behavior of mine, something new inside of me. It was like, yeah, people want to be heard. They want to feel like they got some empathy. You know what I mean? They want us to be able to be there and say, I feel you. You feel me. You know what I mean? And most people just want to feel understood. They don't even want to feel loved, right? Like this is something I've been going through a long time, but what are their intentions? Well, if you're looking at somebody that's that extroverted, odds are they were probably an extroverted child. They were used to getting the center of attention. It's what makes them feel normal. And each person is scrambling to feel normal. The other one guy didn't say boo. And then when we got done, we went outside and he kind of walked past and I was like, isn't that the guy we just had dinner with? And he's, oh, hi, bye guys. Oh, socially awkward. And like, this is why girls don't want to date you. My homegirl said we went on a date once, but he's just not the guy. And someone needs to tell people not that they're not the guy, and not that they're not the right person, but someone needs to be aware person going like, yo, you're talking to an extrovert and you're acting like an introvert. You have to find the thing inside you that you don't think is there, the confidence. Like it's going to be hard to be confident when you don't have two girls on your arm, right? You got to be confident before you get two girls on your arm. And the only reason they're on your arm is because you're confident enough to hold them down. If our insecurities bleed upon us, we know what's being socially awkward. We've been watching each other for a long time. We're human. We're animals. We're social creatures. And in our social building blocks, we get inside of our systems and go, okay, what are our social cues? What are the things that are lying behind the mask? And that's something that I was just figuring out. It's like, that's what it is, right? It's the mask. It's the social mask that we all wear, trying to pretend that we're something that we're not. And I guess it's a lot of Machiavellianness in it. I'm listening to another book from Robert Greene. I'm just obsessed with it because he talks so much in psychology. He's done his research, but it's also, watching these, Hollywood, competitive, NFL. It doesn't even matter. There's hierarchy of people that aren't going to want to see you do your job. You always thought, yeah, let me just go and do my job. Well, part of being in a job is an environment with other human beings, and they don't teach us how to coordinate with other human beings and how some human beings can be jealous and you can be fired for being too good. And there's jockeying for positions in corporations, and there's no empathy there. There's a lot of corporate sabotage just so they can keep their position in life, and that's what we're doing. You want a better position in life, learn people, learn yourself first. How do I come across? What's my style? I'm dealing with people. What's my style? Me, I don't mind looking people in the eyes. I don't mind. I have no fear in talking to them about any subject or just doing that. But in the same time, there'll be a pretty girl come by, and then all of a sudden my system adjusts. I get like a chemical reaction, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm so attracted. It makes me stare. That's part of our biology. But part of it is am I catching myself being thirsty? Am I catching myself just staring because I'm too afraid to say anything? It's one thing to stare. Are you going to back it up with some bravery? We call it 10 seconds of bravery. Once you made eye contact with that girl, are you still making eye? Are you looking away? Are you? I'm so scared. I think that's what's happening. We're scared to talk to our other selves. We're just scared to go too deeper and go, let me identify what the fuck's happening right now. Let's look that down. Yeah, I go, this is it, Saint. This is it. Give me that energy again, Mr. Helicopter. I didn't talk about this real quick. It was like this. It was like, thank you, energy. I was like, this is it. This is that moment where I get to come into a social situation. So one, I had to will myself. You got to will it. You got to will it inside you. You got to find that energy. Say, okay, I'm going to change what I'm doing now. If I'm sitting on the couch, I'm going to change to the gym. If I'm about to go to the fridge, I'm going to change what I was about to eat, my ice cream, and grab a granola bar. There's a chance there for us to be like, okay, I'm going to get back on the pattern, to get back on the blunt video game combination, the dopamine that keeps my time disappearing, like most of yesterday. I just chilled and I was thinking deep and I was listening to this book, the audiobook. I think it was called, which one was I listening to? Manifesting. No, that isn't it. I think I was one of the Robert Greene books. It's a series of the Robert Greene books, and I think it's called just I don't think I was reading The Art of Seduction, but he's talking about seducing people. We are constantly being seduced by ads and seducing each other, and people don't like the word seduction, but that's exactly what it is. It's like a hi, let me seduce you with this external thing. Let my stately side. Let me be gracious and let me be what's the words that he was saying? You're putting on your face. You're charming. You know what I mean? Let me be charming to you. Let me sway you with my words. And Robert Greene was like, step back and put on these different rose petal glasses. Get a look at what you're doing right now. If they're doing too much, why are they seducing you? What are their ultimate intents and what's their dark side? Most people aren't going to talk about their dark side. They don't have Saints Addiction on their back. They didn't talk about their weaknesses. They'll just be Saints brand. Everything's lovely. Look at the white angels. You know what I mean? Let's fly to the top. About that life. I'm also about that addictive life where I'm sitting there at a bar. There's a lot of people pounding drinks. There's a lot of couples in their relationships and lonely people. And why are they there? If you're so beautiful with all your lovely curly hair, why are you alone? What I mean, I guess you can't ask those kind of questions when you walk into the bar. What's your relationship with your mother and what happened to your last relationship and what are your weaknesses? And it's almost like an interview. You wouldn't go into a bar and go, okay, what's your dark side trait? You know what I mean? Or what's your shadow? Have you done any shadow work? You know what I mean? We don't really talk like that, but in ourselves, the information is there. And that's what I'm talking about today. It was just shocking to go, okay, this is a social situation. How will people react? Well, some people sat back. Some people didn't say anything, didn't say boo, didn't ask any questions. The dude would tell me where he was living. He's got this huge studio apartment. I'm like, oh yeah, across from the Carl's Jr. Yeah, that's exactly where it's at. I'm helping his story along. I'm helping him feel like he's part of it. And in that, he's reacting like, I like this guy. I like this guy. I like this guy. Not that I mean, who doesn't want to be liked? And if we're playing Machiavellian moves, if we're playing the court, you can't be too thirsty, but you can't be too direct with what you want, right? Like this manipulation here of the situation. I don't know if it was manifest or manipulation or one of these books, but for us to, I guess it's our Sunday best, right? Today's Sunday. It's our Sunday best. We're showing up with the shirt we want to be seen in. The guy was like, I like your shirt. I was like, Saints Addiction on Instagram. I knew I was wearing black. I knew I was matching. And I knew I wanted to be brave and say what I was about. Like, I'm talking about head. Sometimes I'm talking to my mom and I'm like, I can't really wear this shirt around my grandma. But last night, a lot of people are now freaky. A lot of people are now drinking. And a lot of people are now trying to pull down this mask, finally, that they wore all week long, pretending that they were a corporate stooge or that they were in love with somebody or whatever they were fucking faking. The growth that I'm learning is like true growth is now I feel really solid. I feel really solid as an individual. My muscles are tight. My mind is aware. I went for the exercise is helping. You know what I'm saying? And the calculation of not being frantic. Not jumping into all these emotions that we normally do in our heads. We'll get in there and we'll just be like, okay, now I'm going to this party and I gotta watch what I say or do, or I gotta. I'm afraid. Hey man, told Ruskies about the show. They can admire, spread the love. Oh, cool. Who's Ruskies? Oh shit, I'm getting done here. Can't help being an empath. It's an awesome, but you can hurt. I have no empathy. That was the issue, bro. That was what I'm trying to explain to people. Like I couldn't. My narcissism only allowed me to. My narcissism only allowed me to be worried about how my head worked. Right. Like again, I'm driving down the street and the way I'm talking to myself and the vibes that I'm giving myself. We're animals, so we're smelling each other. One of my favorite lines of the last shitty ass Jurassic Park was he said, keep breathing. They can tell when you stop breathing. A lot of us stuff, we're telling things from a visual reference. We're just visual creatures. We want to see if you're in distress. We've developed facial micro expressionism since the dawn of time before we developed language. So we're used to grunts and movements and facial expressions. I understand what you're saying, Brad. And you're like, he didn't even say anything yet, but I understand. I'm learning, right? This is the growth part right here of not only that I'm getting the information, but I'm also giving that information off. Am I sitting there with my resting bitch face? You might not watch your head play chess, but what does your face look like when your mind is calculating? What do you look like when you're staring at the screen? We get so externalized that we don't even internalize the data that's processing, right? That person made me feel sketchy. That person made me feel important. But those are the seeds that these guys are planting. And they're like, yeah, I want you to feel important. The old Stalin shoulder. Good old Stalin, when he was really on the campaign, he said everyone that left his office ended up leaving smiling with his hand on his shoulder, like they were his new best friend. Stalin puts his hand on your shoulder. He might die. He was a fucking traitor. So my point is that, you know what I mean? When you're looking at people and you don't know their ulterior motives, you're not asking the questions because you're only looking at the face value. You're only saying, oh, pretty girl, old man situations. You know, no one says, why is that old man still at the bar? I wonder what his home life is like. You know what I mean? What can I glean from that information? What can I assess? One of the things that makes sense to be a thinker, and this is some Sherlock Holmes shit, but they were saying that he would think, what's the word, not dialectically, he would think in terms of, let's say simplistic, he would think in terms of when you're there and the murder happened and the dog didn't bark, you as a person, right, must have been familiar with the people, you must have been familiar with the dog, you must have been a home person because the dog would have barked if it was a stranger. And decipher, maybe that's the word I'm looking for, but delineate, decipher. Let's go with that. When we deduced, when we deducted that the dog didn't bark because the person was familiar, now he knows the murderer is from this home. You know, and that's a lot of things that we don't leverage. You know, I'm sitting around and everybody's dressed up. The person that's probably dressed up the most probably has the most ego. Probably wants to show people more of themselves extrovertedly. You know, my friend had her big bra and it was shiny and it had spikes on it. She getting a lot of attention. It was her birthday. How do you dress on your birthday? What do you want to feel like on your birthday? Start from the people externally and how the game of chess to stop from what moves am I going to make? So what moves have they made already? What kind of moves we're all making ourselves externally if we could say that we're putting on a football picture or an avatar, but really that's the mask. That's the mask we all know and wear, and I don't know if we are all aware or that we really know. And that's something I just wanted to talk about this morning. It was just like, you know, this is something I'm deducing myself and just going like I feel so much stronger, you know, mentally and ready for all things because now I have myself to know. Now I have this outside to say, oh, self, what's up with you? What's up with your motivations? What's up with your patterns? What's up with your meditations? What's up with your stoicism? How do you feel about yourself on the inside? Develop this outside. I didn't hear folks control media and allow us to break that audio. That sucks. Yeah. Breaking up audio. Well, either way, I'm still giving out the information. It's clear to me, or screenshot this. What I've done with my life, I don't even get to read what everyone is saying, so that sucks because it was like, I'd like to know what homeboy was saying. Come on, screenshotted it. There it is. And once it's live, it's not in the comments below, so that kind of fucks up the shit. But don't keep fucking up your shit. Straight up, give yourself the chance, man. This is some high level stuff, and you could read it too. But to know thyself and say, hey, man, I'm not just in this emotional world, by myself. I'm in this world where everyone has emotions, where everyone has feelings, and the feelings give them emotions, and the emotions move them. And if you can move someone's emotions, you can move mountains. I'm really in on this. As someone that's narcissistic and loves power, I was like, I've been giving away my power. I've been letting people know that I'm an asshole. I just was like, here's Saints Addiction. I'm all front. I'm not going to say anything to stroke your ego. I'm not going to keep pacifying people. I'm not going to go out and win any friends or favors. It's kind of fucked me, it kind of makes you alone. And in the end, you need people. They're going to remember the way you made them feel. No matter how smart they are, calculated are, or any of that stuff, it's going to be like, yeah, that guy deserves a raise, instead of that guy was an asshole. And I know it sounds easier, and I've been saying it multiple times. It'd be like honey over flies, and how to get flies. You got to get the honey and be sweet, and no vinegar and no bitterness. And it's just like, yeah, people don't want your bitterness. They can see it in you. They can see that you've been bitter, that you've been alone. The poor guy didn't say nothing at dinner. You could tell he kind of been alone too long. He didn't know how to socialize. He was missing all sorts of social cues, moments to speak, moments to touch people, moments to be there, be aware, be in the moment, and have that vibe. I'm in my moment. I'm not like trying to alter my vibe or look around to see how everybody else is accepting my vibe, or I'm so self conscious that the data is just ripping through me and giving me anxiety and I just can't process. Let me go get a drink so I can just numb the fuck out. I didn't need a drink. Actually, we got some ice cream, Hawaiian ice cream. I got to reflect and talk about times gone past, but I added part of my stories with people. So let me add part of my story to you instead of just chiming in like I normally do. I added that part to my game. This is my learning and growth. And go, oh, I don't mean to be narcissistic right now. I don't want to bogart the conversation. I'm just adding to what you said. That little piece of and identifying it helps people dissuade it instead of them being in their head thinking it. You already beat them to the punch and go, not to be narcissistic and bring this back on me, but I have a story I'd like to add to that. And like, really? And that kind of built into it. And they really did start to listen. I was like, I live a blessed life. And I was blessed enough to be in Hawaii. And I was blessed enough to go to the Dole plantation. It was called a Dole Whip. And they had like whipped cream and Hawaiian ice cream, pineapple. So good. But when you go to this, if you ever get the chance to be in Hawaii and go, it's near the North Shore Polynesian Cultural Center. But I got to eat ice cream after taking a little train ride around the pineapple plantation and doing a whole maze, and they got a labyrinth in there. Just blessings. So when we live our lives, we allow ourselves to live, right? And I say that very specifically. Let me say this again. When we allow ourselves to live, you know, we open ourselves up for instant possibilities instead of this rationale. And I was some of it too, like, man, my energy's too low. Nobody's going to want to be near me. I haven't left in front of the computer all day. I don't have the people vibe. Everybody's buzzing. I can't go nowhere if I don't have any friends. I start minusing myself and my ability to be something new. I started minusing my ability to uh, adjust myself. This is we want this from leadership. When everybody else is freaking out, how did they adjust? Well, I kind of ratchet it up and go, okay, man, we got to get this touchdown. Let's get more intense. Boom, 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 boom. I'm into that zone. Other people wanted to ratchet down. They wanted to be like, you know what? We didn't make this play. It's going to be okay. Certain people are certain people on the sidelines. Some people are coaches that are more rationale. Yeah, you're 0 for 7 and statistics, and watch that linebacker. The other one's freaking out. Man, you better get in there. You better make a play. I mean, Different strokes for different folks. My point is to know what kind of folks you're talking to. Identify it. Spend more time on them. That's the new adjustment. That's the new hack. That's the morning motivation, is to spend more time with these people, or mental time, honestly, not just time in front of them, because we can be in front of people and then we're just doing our data, like, this is the way this person's making me feel. The more that they talk, the subject that they're talking about, they're making me feel a certain type of way. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, why are they speaking about that subject? Who is this? I wonder what their home life's like. Did I ask any questions about them? No, I went back and told my own Hawaii fucking ice cream story. I know my Hawaii ice cream story thoroughly. And if it wasn't for her saying Dole Whip, I said, I got to tell you a story about something. She's like, oh man, we got to go in there and get these. And I'm so grateful that we had that moment together, because it's like, it's a birthday moment for our friends. How many times you've been like, cheers, here's a shot. Yeah, man. And I'm like, this is this moment that you and I are both alive. And when you're not alive, I'm going to remember this moment. I'm going to remember you in this moment. And that's the kind of effort I'm talking about. That's the kind of awareness I'm talking about. That's the kind of mindfulness in the now, the power of the now, and not, oh, what's up with the blonde girl down the way? And oh, that girl's cute over there. And oh, look, there's something on the TV. A lot of that was happening with me, but like, how much of it am I listening to them? And did I find their stories boring? When I was being narcissistic, yeah, dude. It was like, man, I couldn't wait for my next chance to say something or to chime in or get the limelight. People get sick of that shit. They want to feel what I'm feeling. They want to feel great and powerful. If I'm great and powerful, why not make someone else feel great and powerful? With great power comes great responsibility to give it to the other people, to encourage them to be uh, brave too, stoic, ready for that Stonewall Jackson leadership style, like, everybody's firing, it's a civil war, it's crazy, and Stonewall Jackson's just standing there, beard and all, I bet, you know, just powerful. And I wanted everybody else to feel powerful. That's something else that we crave. We don't want to feel powerless. We don't want to feel stupid either. And I was making people feel stupid by data dumping on them and go, look how much of a life is out there. I was showing off, and I didn't know it. I thought I was explaining. I really did. I was like, man, there's life out there. Let's talk about world travel, man. We were just in Thailand. And now the whole conversation is about whatever. I took it on a bus ride of my ego. The ego bus went for a drive and took too many passengers, and they wanted off, and they wanted the doors to open and get off and be themselves again. And you want people to feel comfortable about themselves, around you, and around yourselves, and surrounding yourself with that kind of vibe. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of attitude where it's just like, yeah, man, I'm detached. I don't have attachment issues. I can talk to somebody and let them walk away. If we link up, we link up. It doesn't have to be so immediate. It doesn't have to be so abrupt. It doesn't have to be so forceful. My patience level's gone up. You know what I'm saying? Now that I meditated and I've stopped beating myself up, I'm not so. Uh, so that was another thing. Stop beating yourself up. That was one of your boys saying, I'll do a whole nother show tomorrow for the morning motivation. But the moment I stop beating myself up is the moment I stop beating up those around me. So, it's my character. And that's what we're going to talk about. What's your character like? What kind of character are you? And that's what's going to dictate our lives. What we let out and what we emote, and that kind of energy, that's our true character. And that's what we're looking for, is what's behind the mask when somebody removes it. What kind of character are they? What kind of are they gentle under pressure, or they were like old self, when I would ratchet it up and just put gasoline on the fire. Learning different ways, y'all. It's giving me growth, and this is the last of the show. So peace and love, and as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever and finish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. Beards, arms, shirts. Head over it. Saints addiction. Peace.